is William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I welcome you to another Two Hats special of community events. Let's look in and see what's really happening.
And good afternoon, and welcome to Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet, and I'm here in the studio with Lerone Landis and the late Patti Fink. Our guests today are Laura Cerulli and Ashlyn Miller. They have a band called Mama's Black Sheep. Laura's been on our show before. Ashlyn, welcome for the first time.
Thank you.
And Laura, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Only been about 12 years, something like that.
Yeah,
only
11 years.
Something like that.
So can, a little,
just
whatever.
a yawn.
Can we schedule you for like 2030?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. We like to do that
Get
with our regular guests. So. But welcome back. Tell us a little bit about Mama's Black Sheep.
Well, we are celebrating actually 10 years of Mama's Black Sheep this month. We're
Hard to believe.
I know, it is hard to believe. Ashlyn and I have been playing together since 2008, full time, and doing this, playing all over the country. We take the music to the people. That's sort of our little elevator pitch.
And that's what you're doing this afternoon. You were in Houston last night.
Correct, yes we were.
And now you're up here. You're going to do a concert at a home in Richardson. If anybody would like information, they can go to bonedoc1.com. That's bonedoc1.com, and information on it can be found there. What type of music do you play?
We play a little bit of blues, a little bit of country. We do some originals. We have 3 CDs out now. We're getting ready to drop the new Christmas album. I have something funny to say about if anyone out there wants to find out anything more about the concert today. Bonedoc1.com. The first time I played that house concert series, I thought it was Boondocks, and I thought I was coming to Texas to play in the Boondocks. It is not Boondocks. It is Bone, B-O-N-E, doc1.com if you want more information.
Diane, who's an orthopedic surgeon.
Yes, exactly.
She's been on our show, too.
Yes, she's amazing, and we're so happy to be coming back together because we've both been there individually before, but never as Mama's Black Sheep, so it's exciting.
Yeah.
So you were previous band, and how did you all hook up?
We were both in previous projects, and we were playing a festival together. And it was Terry's festival. Terry, Sonia's manager and partner, it was her festival called Susquehanna Music and Arts Festival back in the day. And we met, and this was long before we started playing together, actually. It was like 2001, I think. And I was playing with another artist, Tom Prasad Rao at the time, and Ashlyn was playing with Common Bond, and we were on the stage before and after each other, so we crossed paths, literally walking on and off the stage, and we were like, hey, and then she was there, and they were recording a new CD, and they were like, we could really use some percussion on our CD, we should invite Laura to come and play on our CD, and so I did, and did a little touring with them, and that's sort of how we first met, but, and then the musical relationship grew beyond that, so.
Awesome. I have a little something to add to that. It was so funny because Mary Beth DePompa was my singing partner in Common Bond, and I was 6 feet tall and she was 5 feet tall, and so she called me big girl and I called her little girl. Well, Laura has just come out and she's holding her djembe and everything, and I was just like, go on, little girl, let's go ask her to sing on our CD, play on our CD rather. And then she was just like, no, big girl, you go ask her. And I'm like, no, little girl, you go ask her. And I went back and forth like that, and finally I said, okay, I'll go ask her. And I was young enough still that I still remember that trick, like when you push somebody in the classroom when you're walking down the hall. So here comes little girl and me walking straight towards Laura, and as soon as we get a couple of feet from Laura, I pushed her, and she was just like, hey.
I guess that's Laura because you're so shy.
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah, we're both shy. You would never know it, but yes, I think a lot of performers are, which is kind of funny because you have a different personality. Your performing personality is a different person than who you are in your private life. So
Right.
It's kind of funny.
I want to play something from your new album for everybody listening this is going to be the first Christmas music you've heard this year. And remember,
we apologize that it's so early, but the album's just coming out.
And as the person who substitutes on the Jewish Music Hour, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and tell us just a little bit about this song.
This song is called "The Sheep Save Christmas." It is the title track of our new Christmas CD, and we wrote the song. It sort of wrote itself, honestly, but it has turned into sort of this crazy Dr. Seuss-like Christmas story. But it was written basically to explain the cover of the CD, which is Santa's sleigh being pulled across the night sky, but instead of being pulled by a reindeer, it's being pulled by a black sheep. And we were like, well, why on earth are the black sheep pulling the sleigh? And so that's what this song is all about. The Sheep Save Christmas.
'Twas December 24th, and the work was all but done. Santa and the elves had slaved away, so they all met in town square for a feast and Christmas fun. It was their yearly Christmas pre-flight party day. Most of the elves were jolly with their mistletoe and holly, so excited that the day had finally come. But there was a damaged seed, the trickster Kieran Sneed, and he thought that he would have a little fun. Sneed saw Mrs. Claus was cooking, and when she wasn't looking, he snuck into the kitchen like a mouse. He added super sleeping powder to her famous Christmas chowder and snickered as he crept out of the house. It was an annual tradition, Mrs. Claus's yearly mission, to make sure Santa, elves, and reindeer were all fed. But after eating all the chowder with the super sleeping powder, the groggy masses stumbled off to bed. Oh, the stars are brightly shining in the midnight sky so clear. Santa's sleigh was filled with gifts for children far and near. Little did they know that Santa and all 9 reindeer would be sleeping right through Christmas this year. Sneed walked around the town and heard not a single sound, as everybody else was fast asleep. He said,
I was only trying to have fun. Now look what I have done.
As he hung his head and then began to weep. While squinting through his tears, there suddenly appeared a circle of dark figures closing in. And much to Sneed's surprise, he saw 9 pairs of bright eyes as a small flock of black sheep surrounded him. Oh, the stars are brightly shining in the midnight sky so clear. Santa's sleigh was filled with gifts for children far and near. Little did they know that Santa and all 9 reindeer would be sleeping right through Christmas this year. Just then the Christmas clock struck midnight and the flock was enchanted and began to vocalize.
We think we know a way to help save Christmas Day and deliver all the gifts before sunrise.
So they hurried to the stable, and with Sneed's help were able to drag the magic harness to the sleigh. And the sheep got in formation, and with much anticipation, Sneed harnessed them all in with no delay. Oh, the stars are brightly shining in the midnight sky so clear. Santa's sleigh was filled with gifts for children far and near. Just as hope was fading, a solution has appeared. The sheep are saving Christmas this year. To get the sheep in motion, there was a secret potion that gave them the ability to fly. And after swallowing the brew, every ram and every ewe began to slowly rise up into the night sky. Well, Sneed and all the sheep, they raced to beat the clock, despite the wind and icy snow slowing down the flock. With all the gifts delivered, they finally reached their goal, Joyous but exhausted, they set course for the North Pole. Oh, the stars are brightly shining in the midnight sky so clear. The gifts had been delivered to the children far and near. Just as hope was fading, a solution did appear. Thank goodness the sheep saved Christmas. Thank goodness the sheep saved Christmas. Thank goodness the sheep saved Christmas this year.
And that was The Sheep Save Christmas. Patty, did you want to chime in your little comment during this song?
Which was?
About, that's a song about date rape.
I was just saying, wow, they were drugged.
Okay, so which of you wrote it, or did you write it together? What's your songwriting process?
Well, we wanted the sheep to be pulling the sleigh, and we had to answer the question, why?
Right.
Why are the black sheep pulling Santa's sleigh? So it was just like, okay, ready, go. You write why you think, and I'll add on that, and then I wrote some and handed it back to her, and then she wrote some and handed it back to me. It was kind of
sort of like a back and forth collaboration project.
Yeah. So the story kind of wrote itself.
And then the music, Ashlyn, you said before the show that Laura usually writes on the piano.
She does, not this one. This is just one of those, Hemi Holly kind of country lick songs, just the standard, bonk da bonk.
So that one you just
kind of wrote itself
kind of
as well.
Out
Yeah. It's not our greatest musical accomplishment, but we've been having a lot of fun with it.
But it's fun.
Yes, it is fun.
So I have a burning question.
Yes.
Why Mama's Black Sheep?
Well, because we are.
Patty, you've been on this show for like 20 years. You ask a stupid question.
No, I was actually going to ask the same question.
Everybody asks that question.
Yes.
It's actually probably the most common question that we get, and we thought because we are the black sheep, respectively, of our two families, and we thought about being just the black sheep, but there's already a band called the Black Sheep. And
Actually, from Texas.
And there's a band called the Black Sheep Band, so we couldn't do either of those things.
And Laura
I
was just like,
well, what if we add the Mamas? Because then it sort of adds a feminine element, and also it kind of just sounds like a band. Mama's Black Sheep. It sort of sounds bandy.
Little did we know, though, it was a great marketing thing because everybody's cousin is the black sheep or everybody's sister. And so we've sold a lot of CDs, Sound Unheard, like T-shirts, hats.
T-shirts and hats that
They're
people
like,
just buy for their relatives who are the black sheep, because it just works out that way.
Yeah.
So we see the white sheep out there have a great reputation of, counting, like, the sort of ones that count off on TV.
Right.
When you go to sleep, they count off. What do the black sheep do?
They stay awake and pull Santa's sleigh.
That's right. They forge their own.
you go.
They forge their own path. The black sheep. I think some people have like a negative image in their head of the black sheep. Like the one who's not up to par with the other things, but our definition of black sheep is just the one that's an independent thinker, the one that kind of goes off on their own and
not the follower.
Doesn't follow the flock all the time.
And drinks coffee.
Definitely. You got to keep that sheep's wool black somehow, right?
Exactly.
Right, and have you ever thought about where all that blue wool and red wool comes from?
Yeah,
Red
exactly.
sheep?
Where did those sheep? Where are they? It's like those things that people post on Instagram of the place in Colorado that has the pebbles in the water that are all of the rainbow colors. I forget, it's like Rainbow Canyon or something. I forget what it's called. Rainbow Lake. I don't know. But it's like, where's this sheep? I know there's red sheep out there somewhere. Got to find them.
Okay, we need to take a break in a few minutes. You want to take us out with the song that you're going to play here live in the studio?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah. This is another kind of fun song, and the only other co-written song Ashley and I have, and it's a song about cuddling. It's called Spoonin'.
My favorite.
1, 2, 3. Some girls like a fancy gourmet dinner. Some like a great big diamond ring. But let me put your mind at ease. I'm a simple woman with simple needs, requiring only the simplest of things.
searching for their secrets all your lives. Well, you open up that kitchen drawer and find out what I'm looking for, right between the forks and the knives. Oh, we're spooning all through the night, spooning, holding you so tight, spooning with my baby tonight, spooning till the morning light, spooning makes my whole world right, spooning with my baby tonight. And I'm one to love biscuits and gravy, and all the stuff and goodness that my grandma always made me, but I still deem you my baby. There ain't nothing better than spooning with my baby. No, no. Ain't nothing better than spooning with my baby. Ain't nothing better than spooning with my baby. Ain't nothing better than spooning with my baby.
Hi, this is Patti Fink, and you're listening to Lambda Weekly on 89.3 Knon FM.
And this is Lambda Weekly, named one of the top 20 LGBT podcasts
Yes.
in the country this week.
Woo!
So congratulations, Lerone. Congratulations,
Congratulations, David. Congratulations, Patty.
First time that's ever happened, but
It is.
Yeah.
I was really surprised.
I was too. I was shocked. Our guests today are Laura Cerulli and Ashlyn Miller. They form a band called Mama's Black Sheep. The name of the song just before the break,
Spoonin'.
Spoonin'.
and that's the other song that you wrote together.
Yes, that's our other co-written song. We
But-
usually write alone and then arrange together, but those two we actually co-wrote.
Now, performing, I see a difference. Laura was on our show about 12 years ago, probably, as And Disappear Fear.
Right, and. I was just the and.
You were the and. But in many ways, you were the and. Here, you're much more of a collaboration, it seems.
Yeah, well, you know, Sonia's writing is Sonia's writing, so it's really about Sonia's songs and her message, and you know, when you're playing as a backup musician for somebody else, it was really important to me not to step all over that, because that's really the thing about Sonia and Disappear Fear, and the wonderful and positive thing about it is the message, and you know, if I was all up in it and all over it, then I wouldn't really be supporting that. So that was my role in that band. This project is a little different.
Yeah, but here it's so obvious that you're a good duo together.
Thank you.
You're not.
Thank you.
You're not this. You know, one the singer and the other is backup.
Right.
Yeah.
We're both lead artists here and collaborating, as opposed to, you know, a lead artist with a backup player. And in that band, I was a backup.
Generally speaking, now the songs that are original that I sing are the ones that I wrote, and the songs that Laura sings are the ones that she wrote. And by the way, listeners out there, I am stereo right. This is Ashley Miller, and Laura is stereo left. That's Laura.
Yeah. In case you have headphones on.
So, okay, so all of your music, you did only co-written only 2 songs, and do you write all of your music yourselves, or do you do any covers?
We do some covers as well. It just depends. We have put some covers on CDs because they've been so requested. Sort of our philosophy with cover songs, though, is that we have to be able to do something special and different with it. Because if you're going to do the same thing that the original artist did, then just let them do it. You know, like
Right.
if you're not going to do it, you know, better or more interesting or really different in some way, I don't really understand the point of covering a song unless you have something, you know, something you can do with it. So we try and do creative, unique versions of different songs. Like, for example, just to give you an example, there's a Bob Dylan song, "Make You Feel My Love," which many people have covered. But the Bob version is very Bob. Our version is a little more Bob Marley than Bob Dylan. We do a reggae version of it. So,
cool.
you know, and we play down on the islands every winter in the Caribbean, St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, and we were like, well, you should have a reggae song. So that's the one we did, and you know, it's great, and it's a lot of fun, and people love it, and they're like, oh, I had no idea that was a Bob Dylan song, because people think it's a Garth Brooks song, or they think, if they're younger, much younger, they think it's an Adele song, you know?
Really?
That's really
Wow.
dumb.
And say, can you play Landslide by the Dixie Chicks? And I'm like, yeah, I can. And I just don't even correct them. I've known it for 30 years. I don't need to show my age. We're all good. Yes, I'll play it by the Dixie Chicks.
Sure, the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, and your Christmas album has several songs that they didn't write, like
Another Years is another song on there, and we actually have a song that nobody will know, but it's sort of an unpublished Christmas song that we did not write, but another writer sent to us to record. That's called Christmas Finds a Way. That's sort of like a new original Christmas song as well.
one of the ones I was thinking of was "O Come All Ye Faithful."
Oh, that was super
Oh,
fun.
so
That was super fun.
Yeah.
You've heard of that, Lerone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that
I don't
a
know.
cover of who?
A cover of whom? Who did that? Who did that song?
That was Adele, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Adele. It's Beyonce did that song, I think. Are you gonna?
If you wanted to play "O Come All Ye Faithful" for one of the tracks, that would be great. We had a lot of joining musicians. Christine
Yeah, we had
Avrilla
some
on the
great-
bass.
great friends
We
on this.
had Julie Simek come in on vocals. We had Keith Gioza on keys and piano
And vocals,
and
yeah.
vocals. And,
It's
yeah.
a sort of a big collaboration of all of our favorite musical friends.
Okay, and I think this is a good example of you're playing something in your own style. Not,
No, this was definitely not. This one's kind of all across the board. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not really our own style. It's untypical of our own style, but it's a lot of fun.
It's
Yeah.
Adele's style. Come on.
Yeah.
but what I mean, it's not the style in which it was originally written.
Correct. No, it
That-
definitely
yeah,
isn't.
right,
It
yeah.
definitely isn't. It's definitely
Yeah.
a little
This
unique
is going to
take.
take you to church.
It is a little taking you to
Take
church
you to
on a Sunday
synagogue.
morning.
Come, all ye faithful, joyful
And that was Mama's Black Sheep, Laura Cerulli, and Ashlyn Miller singing Hanukkah, Oh Hanukkah.
We thought you would like it, David.
It was fabulous.
Thanks for being a good sport.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. So, growing up, listening to mainly pop music, as I've gotten older, I have an appreciation more and more for acoustic music, and that was a great version of acoustics that you all just played. Where do you like recording? In a studio, live, or do you actually record in a house sometimes?
We have recorded in home studios.
We've done all of the above.
We've done all of the above, yeah.
Okay.
And they're all really different, which is the fun thing about recording for me anyway. It's just because you end up with such a different energy to a recording depending on where you did it. Our first album we actually recorded in studios, but in several different studios, and I think you can kind of tell that there's a difference in the rooms and the way it sounds, which is interesting because it lends something to each song, And
then our second CD is a live CD. We recorded in 11 different locations on the East Coast, and then picked the 6 favorite tracks from one song, narrowed it down to the 3 favorite, to the 2 favorite, to the 1 trip out of
all 6 recordings of the same song.
Yeah.
We recorded like several,
and then made
a bunch of different
compilation
shows.
CD. One of the cool things that happened on that album, the title of the album is Driving On, is that when we were playing in Mebane, North Carolina, the stage was right beside a train track, and I'm playing, like that, and the train's whistle was blowing, and it was in the same key of the song. So we left it in the recording.
We left it in the recording.
Yeah, it happened naturally. It was really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just happened to work out that way.
So, do you have a preference of which one you like recording in better?
No, it just depends on, I guess, the style that we're going for. I mean, we could be sitting in the corner of a barn for that matter, or if it's just a real studio, then a lot of times key players will come in on that. If it's more of a relaxed setting, then sometimes we'll get some funny, funky stuff. It just, we try and do a little bit of everything. That's what makes us,
Keeps us interested.
And that's one reason I wanted you to both play live and off your album. Off your album, there's, it has that polished whatever.
Right.
But singing live in a radio station that's not really designed for this.
Right. Exactly.
You get a different sound.
It's a different kind of thing.
But there's something personal about that you don't get necessarily listening to the radio, to the CD. So
Exactly.
How many days a year are you two on the road?
About 200 days on the road, roughly, every year. Not all of those are show days. Some are just travel days, but we're...
Don't your husband staying at home miss you?
I brought my husband with me.
Yeah, it's funny. We have fish, a 75-gallon fish tank, and when we walk in the door, the fish are looking at us like, "Hey, lady,
Who are you? Are you supposed to be in here?"
We're gone all the time. And like, "Hey, lady." But our first time actually is in a Toyota Highlander. We spend more time in that truck than we do anywhere else in the world. So,
Yep.
Our second home, we have a house in Maryland. So
Where our stuff lives. Our stuff and our fish live in the house.
Yeah.
Stuff in your fish?
Yeah.
So when you go out on the road, how long are you out in between?
It depends. Like some weeks, like this was a quick weekend thing for us to come to Texas. This is our first time coming to Texas as Mama's Black Sheep. We came down on Thursday. We did some stuff down in the Houston area, and now we're up here, and we'll leave Tuesday. So, we're out 5 days and back home for a few, and then we go back out again. So a lot of our year is like that. There are a few tours during the year where we're gone for an extended period of time. Our winter tour, when we go to the Caribbean, there's not a lot of back and forth on that
Yeah,
one.
that must be really tough.
Well, somebody has to do it, David. Someone has to be down there entertaining those people.
Somebody needs to entertain them in the middle of the summer, too.
Well, that's true, but who wants to be in the Caribbean in the summer? Well, okay, the summer's fine there, too, because the temperature in the water and the air stays about the same all year long. But it's a little more humid and less breezy in the summer, but the winter months is the perfect place to be. We travel with the weather quite a bit because it just just works out for our schedule. It's hard to play in the ice and snow in the Mid-Atlantic during the winter, and shows are unpredictable. Audiences have to drive in the weather, which we don't want them to have to do that. We play down in the southern part of the country or in the Caribbean in the winter. It's nice weather. People are out. They're on vacation. There's always a good audience.
And last night you were playing down in the Houston area, and who knew in October you needed air conditioning?
Exactly.
So
Who
what
knew?
happened?
Goodness
Yeah.
gracious. Good thing. Yeah,
Well,
you will not find us in Texas in the summertime. I can tell you that. Or in
But
Arizona.
what happened last night even? What happened last night?
Ashton, would you like to tell what happened last
Oh
night?
my goodness, yes. We were playing at a church down in Houston, a UU church, and they had a nice big space with a big kitchen and a stage, and a big hall. And so we brought all the drums in and set them up on stage. They had a great sound system, like really top of the line. I wish I had it kind of sound system. And we sound checked, got everything working, but they never got the air conditioning working. So
We're just sweating
just
buckets this
dripping,
whole time, just
it was-
soaking wet.
Yeah, like including my short, like everything. Just I'm so like completely cleansed now from sweating that much. Let me tell you. But ended up they just never could get the air conditioning to kick on. So that particular unit went kaput.
Something
So
happened.
what we ended up doing is going into the annex building, the right next door to it. They had beautiful air conditioning. We did theater style seating rather than tables, and it was more intimate. The way that it worked out, that really good for us is that we don't like being up on the stage because it distances us from our crowd and people that are listening, and to have it more intimate, to have the people sitting closer in front of us, they all paid attention, and it was an older crowd, like for instance the lady Arden, so sweet to put us up, 87 years old. And
Wow.
they all stayed awake. They all
made it through.
packed and clapped and napped, and then woke up again. But it was great. It worked out to be great. So
Wow.
Now, do you guys work a lot of like women's music festivals?
We
Kind of
do. We
scene?
do a number of women's music festivals, but we do a number of non-women's events too. We kind of do a little bit of everything, which I think if you're going to be a full-time performer and musician, you have to learn to be a little flexible. And if you can't be, then your possibility for income is going to be extremely limited because there's only so many things you can do, So we try and do a little bit of everything. We do house concerts, we do festivals, we do women's events, we do non-women's events, we do everybody events, we do restaurants and bars and
You
clubs.
do LGBT radio shows.
We do LGBT radio shows.
we do LGBT Jewish radio shows.
That's right. With Christmas music. I mean, come on. This is inclusive, people.
Next time I'm subbing on that show,
You all need to come back.
you can come back on, and
Perfect.
we'll figure out one song that you can play, since they're mostly written by Jews anyway.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
right.
I love
Well,
it.
he'll add you in for the Christmas show for the.
Yeah,
he
we'll
does a
figure.
Christmas show on the Jewish Music Hour. So
Excellent.
There you go.
I love it.
We have a whole CD of Christmas music.
Right, and I think Laurent's done that show too.
I have.
So that's just K and a win. Yep, mishmash. Why don't we go out for a break? We're going to come back. We need to kind of mention something about Mr. Kavanaugh.
Probably
How
necessary.
about,
It'll be short.
50-48?
Uh-huh.
How about that? That's enough.
We're talking to Laura Cerulli and Ashlyn Miller. They form the band Mama's Black Sheep. We'll be back with more Lambda Weekly right after this.
This is Raphael McDonald from Resource Center Dallas. You're listening to Lambda Weekly on 89.3 KNON FM.
And this is Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet here in the studio with Lerone Landis and the late Patti Fink, and our guests are Mama's Black Sheep, Laura Cerulli and Ashlyn Miller. Before we go back to the music, we do have to mention Patty's favorite senator, Susan Collins, ended up voting for...
I don't believe Susan Collins. This morning she came on TV and said that she, supports women, but she doesn't believe Dr. Ford. Well, I don't believe Susan Collins. I think she's full of it.
Do you think she was paid off, or do you think it was intimidation?
I think it was intimidation. I think Mitch McConnell, threatened her with committee posts and all sorts of things. But there's a whole lot of women lining up to potentially run against her, and it's time she's gone. She's disgraced. She's a disgrace to women, in my opinion.
Lisa Murkowski stood fast with her vote.
She voted present.
Right, she did not vote against, but she didn't vote for.
Right, she voted present because there was another senator, a Republican senator, whose daughter was getting married that day, yesterday, and he didn't want to miss the wedding. He said, "I'll skip the vote for the because there's no way to plan that. The wedding had been planned forever, and it was his daughter's wedding.
Right.
So in order to keep it an even, like if you're going to be gone, I'll take away another vote too, so that it's kind of even. So,
but it wasn't a vote. It wasn't a vote for.
No, it was a vote present. But she was going to vote against. She had enormous pressure from indigenous tribes in Alaska. Kavanaugh has never been even a civil rights advocate in any way for them or for anyone else. And so she was going to vote no anyway, so she just voted present.
I mean, what do you think about Senator Flake? I mean, I don't want to take him off the hook either. What do you think he was just kind of grandstanding when he?
I do now.
Yeah.
Sure. The FBI investigation didn't even interview the principals.
No.
They didn't interview Kavanaugh. They didn't interview Dr. Ford. They didn't interview all kinds of witnesses.
Okay, so was the
sham.
Was the FBI paid off, or was that intimidation from the White House?
I think it was intimidation from the White House. The White House specifically told them not to interview Kavanaugh and not to interview Dr. Ford. So. You know, if they can't test the credibility, and that what happened in the Senate Judiciary Committee was 5-minute wallops, and that's not testing credibility. You need a sustained interview, and it just didn't happen. And I think the whole FBI report was just a lip service sham to say, look, we did, look what we did,
right?
And that's it. That's my opinion.
Okay, so before we go back to the music, did you get your presidential alert?
I did.
Did both of you got? Did you get?
Oh yeah.
I turned my phone off.
I just hope that we are not going to start receiving Twitter
Tweets.
messages basically on our phones.
Well, I'm on Cricket. I turned my phone off. When I turned it on, there was nothing there.
Wow.
So I was blessed. So there was a Saturday Night Live skit last night, and everybody's getting these ridiculous presidential alerts, and then one person, I didn't get it. And then it comes on Cricket. It's nice to have crappy phone service. I'm on Cricket.
Right. I heard also anybody with AT&T didn't get it either.
Well,
I have AT&T and I got it.
Yeah,
really?
and Cricket is AT&T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize.
Ashlyn, before the show, you said, "Oh, I'm not political," but music is healing.
Yes.
So after what we went through yesterday and what we're going to go through,
We're going to continue to go through for years to come.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Would you like to play another song?
Yes, we would love to.
This song actually is sort of about this very thing. It's about being surrounded by negativity all the time, which we are, especially in the media and with everything that's going on. Sometimes if you focus on that, then that's the thing that's going to become important in your life, the negative stuff. But if you focus instead on the positive things in your life and the things you have to be grateful for, life gets a little better. So that's what we try and do. The song is called Grateful. You've been wasting all this time. You've been holding up the line. You've been screaming and crying. Yeah, you know. Oh, this grudge you choose to hold, it's just eating up your soul. You'll regret it when you're older. Shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't get you very far. What if I had only just a question in the dark? All this negativity's consuming who you are. You got to let it go. Let it go. Let it go now. Yeah, you got to learn to let it go. Let it go. Let it go now. Yeah. You've been waiting on a change. Think it's time you rearrange and adjust your expectations. Try to
control. You're no closer to your goal. Changing nothing but frustration. In this game of life, you feel your luck is running cold. You are not enough, it's just a lie you're being sold. Watching someone else's hand, you've forgotten what you hold. You got to let it go. Let it go. Let it go now. Yeah, you got to learn to let it go. Let it go. Let it go now. Yeah. All right, y'all. This is your sing-along part. You guys game?
Sure.
Why not, right? So this is my daily mantra, and if you're listening out there in the radio world, you can sing along too. I am strong. I am loved. I am grateful. Yeah. I am strong. I am loved. I am grateful. Yeah, y'all say this. I am strong. I am strong. I am loved. I am grateful. Yeah. I am strong. I am strong. I am loved. I am grateful. All these insecurities, only you can set you free. Let it go. You go down upon the shelf. You got to let the love yourself. Let it go. I am strong. I am strong. I am loved. I am grateful. Yeah. I am strong. I am loved. I am grateful.
Okay, so you said, would we like to sing backup? We're really terrible singers.
That was the quietest backup singing I've ever. Or it was the most in tune that it was so synchronized with our.
There it is.
Yes.
We are grateful that David did not sing.
And you know, my aspiration with singing was always to be one of the and the pips.
Oh, and the pips.
And the
right.
Pips.
And the pips.
That's the one that I sing along
Can
with
you
all the
touch
time.
a step a little back there?
Can we call you Pippi?
But I love them.
Pippi kind of suits you.
Yes, they're
I do.
fabulous.
I mean, Laura, you sang backup before you formed this group.
Yes.
Ashlyn, did you sing backup, or were you the lead singer before?
I was in the same situation.
Okay.
A duo, so she would sing, I would sing. The one she wrote, she sang, and vice versa. Yeah.
Okay. For you, Laura, was that kind of odd for you to step up and be in the forefront?
No, not really, because before I was singing with Sonia, I had my own band. I had another band back in the day. I've been in bands since I was, a kid, and so I've been the lead. I've been a lead vocalist. I've been backup vocalist. It really just depends on the project and what suits it. You kind of have to be flexible.
So, what's next for you ladies? You've been around or together for a decade this month.
Yes.
A decade.
Do you have any places that you haven't played that you want to play? Or
Lots of them. We actually have the bucket list thing.
Well, it's Sue Ellen's.
Oh, right. We got to go to Sue Ellen's.
you gotta-
This is what I
you
heard.
gotta do
This is
Sue
what I
Ellen's.
heard. We got to go to Sue Ellen's.
Yeah.
But Ashlyn's big bucket list has been to play in all 50 states.
Kind of a Beto approach.
Right, exactly.
He's been to all 254 counties in Texas. You could
Wow.
hit all 50 states.
Yes, right, exactly. So we're actually on our list of states I've played and states she's played. There are very few that we still have to hit. I think there's only maybe 4.
Yeah.
and they're all upper northwesty.
Yeah.
Idaho.
North Dakota.
Idaho. Yeah. North Dakota.
Yeah,
maybe-
be careful.
I forget.
Nebraska.
Montana.
Nebraska.
Montana.
Yeah. I've played Nebraska.
I haven't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so North Dakota, one of the fastest growing states. And it is
yes,
because
it
of
is,
their
it is.
oil industry.
Right, the oil
It
industry.
actually
yes,
is.
It is.
You know, those aren't necessarily bad states.
No.
Montana actually was just down here. They did a press show, and
All of them? all 7 of them?
All
They
of
were
Montana
here?
was down.
They put Montana on a bus and brought it to Texas.
Because we have new air service to I forgot where, I think Missoula.
Oh, yeah?
And they were showing pictures. It's gorgeous up there.
It is gorgeous. I've driven through Montana, but I've never played music in Montana, so it is a beautiful, beautiful place.
I had a friend who was from Wyoming, and she said, "You know what Wyoming's biggest export is?" And I said, "No." She said, "People." So I think the 7 that were still left in Montana, you know, like their predecessors have moved over. They're in Wyoming and maybe a couple in Idaho.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, but those are pretty states that you have.
They are
been
beautiful
to.
states.
Yeah.
Should we mention some of the ugly ones that are?
It's not. That's not nice.
be grateful. Be grateful.
Be grateful, David.
Yeah. My mama says if you can't say something nice, just don't say anything at all.
Yeah, and I have to. You just drove up from Houston this morning.
Right.
That's one of the ugliest drives anywhere. Yeah.
Well, we did part of it at night, so it really
yeah, I was
wasn't so
sleeping,
bad.
so I-
It kind of looked like every other highway at night.
Exactly. But
You know what?
We had a very Texas experience, though, I think.
Do tell.
We stopped at this place called
Buc-ee's? Oh.
Yes. It's quite a Texas experience.
Wow. I am overwhelmed.
The Buc-ee's that you would have stopped at has over 100 pumps. Gas pumps.
Yes, it's humongous.
Madisonville.
It's sort of like the Walmart of gas stations. I was just beside myself. I was like, wow, they really do it bigger in Texas, don't they?
Buc-ee's is actually expanding out of the state now for the first
impressive.
I have
time.
never seen such a thing
No.
as 47 different kinds of beef jerky in a case. Like, I don't understand. Wow. I was blown away. Ashlyn went in to go to the bathroom. I was pumping the gas, and then I came inside because I was going to get a cup of coffee, and I'm just standing there, like, staring at
She
the...
looked like a deer in the headlights.
I was just like,
"Are you okay?"
She's like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "I'm overwhelmed by this.
Like,
I don't know
on.
what to do in this
Shaking
place."
the way
But I'll
around.
tell you what they've done. They have elevated the quality and standard across the board on I-45 for bathrooms.
No, not just
The bathrooms
I-45.
were lovely,
On
yes.
all the interstates.
Yeah,
now.
It was very clean. It was great. I mean, even
They
the
have
outside
billboards.
was clean. Like, the pumps were clean. Like, everything was clean. I was like, wow, this is impressive.
That whole stretch, like coming north from Houston, reminded me of like a mini Las Vegas. The only thing you're missing is all those casinos.
Yeah.
'Cause all the bright lights and all the
Yeah, the
cowboy
lights.
hats and all the stuff, you know.
It's like, here, come here.
There's
Yeah,
a little
all the
further
flashy
up on
things.
45 where there's a strip club, but their advertising, their billboards say it's fabric-free dancing. It's the only place you'll ever see that on a billboard is on.
Oh my God!
Fabric
Seriously?
Fabric-free.
They're wearing leather.
I like that.
It's not fabric.
there you
Fabric-free.
Or plastic.
Or vinyl or paint.
Could be.
Maybe dress me in cow tonight.
So, when are you all planning to start recording a new project or a new album?
Well, this brand new album, the Christmas CD, which you have heard a track from, is coming out this coming Friday the 12th. That's the release date. So it is not released yet. We just finished it. I mean, literally, just like sliding in sideways in time to have the thing in our hands for the
Hair on
release
fire.
show. Yes. So we hope to have another album of original music coming out
Next year or
in the
two.
next year
Two.
or two. It depends.
Well, the
It's
CD's
always
coming
like a
out.
time thing, you know.
Yeah.
CD's coming out the day after National Coming Out Day.
How
Maybe
about that?
maybe we should release it a day early.
Yeah.
There we go. There it is, your National Coming Out Album Day.
Right, exactly.
How long did it take you to record that album?
The Christmas one? It was we did it really quick.
Quickest recording.
It was
process
the quickest recording we've ever done. Maybe 6 days.
Oh, that's real quick.
That's really quick.
Yes,
So
we
you
were
did
under
multiple
a time,
tracks
we
in
were
a day.
under a deadline.
But
so.
we were booked in the Outer Banks right when the hurricane came through, and so we got canceled.
Yeah,
and
Florence made it possible for us to finish the CD in
we
time.
were just in there. We were working doubles, doing studio all day, and then singing at night, and it was arduous, and we were very happy with what came out of it. So it was worth the hard work.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're just about out of time. You're going to be performing up at Diane Litke's. If anybody would like information, because it's an open house concert.
It is.
Bone Doc 1, that Bone, B-O-N-E, Doc, D-O-C. She's a doctor.
And then number one.
Number1.com, and you can find information about going.
And the information is also on our website at mamasblacksheep.com.
And then after that, you're going where? Home?
We're going back home for a couple days, and then we're going to be releasing the album on Friday at the Tin Pan in Richmond, Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
good. Well, what should we go out on?
You get an Adele cover we could hit?
An Adele cover? Sure, yeah.
Did you want another year?
Yeah, let's do
Let's
that
do
one.
another year. Yeah.
And don't be such a stranger.
Okay.
You guys have to
Hey,
come
thanks
back
for having us in.
at least
Come back,
once every 12 years.
Once every 12 years at least.
Yes.
The days are getting shorter, and time becomes a precious gift. Even if you try to make it count, to make it up, to make it all okay, it slips away. Now my eyes are open, and I can see the truth inside the lies, even though I've tried to shut it out, to shut it down, to shut the door and hide. It comes inside. But over pumpkin pies, we'll analyze all the chances and near misses. Celebrate the season and give thanks with family gathered near. With snow